Modifications can happen.
Your collision visions, Kundalini yoga. Let's get those beautiful, blessed bodies moving and grooving while we listen to a very beautiful, awakening audiobook. The YouTube channel is called Conscious, and it is beautiful.
However, it often happens that, as an unsought
Lift your shoulders up,
observation,
drop them down, lift them up, drop them down. Now, drop your left ear down to your left shoulder, drop your left shoulder, lift your right one up, drop it down, drop your ear even lower, and look down at your left shoulder, and squeeze your shoulders back so your arms come. And just sit here and breathe.
Everything is fine as it is. It is about not adding self-hatred to what already suffers. Seeing, without adding tension, is far more powerful than fighting. Third, in the sensations of a relaxed body. The third thing concerns the body.
Jawline
Bringing
forward.
attention to body sensations is the beginning of self-remembering, because it brings you back to the present. The body is like a radar of reality.
Breathe from the
It
chest.
tells silently what is happening, beyond the stories of the mind. Tensions, contractions, painful points, breath blocked or flowing. All of this is living information. When something touches you emotionally, even before the mind has constructed its story, the body has already reacted.
Drop
For
your
this reason,
right ear down to your right arm.
self-observation, to be effective, must include the body.
Drop your
Feel
right
where you
shoulder.
contract.
Lift
Notice
your
how you
left
breathe.
one. Drop it down.
Observe whether you are clenching your jaw, your shoulders,
Drop your right
your
shoulder
belly,
even more.
and, as much as
Look
possible,
down to
let
your
the body
shoulder.
relax without forcing it.
Clasp your hands
It is not a
again.
relaxation technique for its own sake. It is a way to anchor attention in the present,
And
in the
breathe
real,
deeply
not just in
from
thoughts.
your stomach and your heart.
Observing yourself means remaining present to yourself while you act and speak in everyday life. In the first years, you can help yourself by keeping a diary in the evening before falling asleep. Later, observation becomes increasingly direct in real time. You become capable of awakening to yourself precisely while you're in the grip of some mechanism. For example, you catch yourself saying a
Now
phrase
lift your
only
arms.
to defend your reputation
Breathe from your heart.
or to show that you are intelligent. If you do not observe yourself, you cannot realize that behind a
While
phrase
squeezing
or
your
an
stomach in
attitude
at the same
lie
time.
conditionings traced back to your mother, your father, or your school teacher.
Now lift your head and you drop your
Absolutely honest.
to your left
The fourth point is perhaps the most
and
demanding.
roll it around.
Self-observation must be absolutely honest. To observe yourself requires radical sincerity. It means telling yourself the truth, even when it hurts, even when it cracks the image of yourself you want to defend.
Right here is tight on
This
me.
is what some traditions call
Maybe you too.
voluntary suffering.
So we're gonna stop on this
It is
tightness or
not
wherever you
suffering
feel
imposed
tightness,
by life in a blind way.
and you're gonna lift your chin
It is
up
the suffering
and
you accept
stretching.
consciously when you choose to see what you usually hide under the rug. Without self-remembering, suffering remains sterile. It becomes only self-blame.
Breathe into those areas of
victim.
stiffness.
With self-remembering, with the presence of an inner witness, that same suffering becomes material for transformation. Voluntary suffering. Let us pause for a
Now
moment
we're
on this
gonna
point,
roll
because it
our
is
head
essential.
back and up.
In ordinary life,
Just squeeze
we do
both
everything
up
to avoid suffering.
and drop it down.
And on the surface, it makes sense.
Lift up,
But the problem
inhale,
is not
and
suffering
exhale,
itself.
drop down for
It is the
about a
way we
minute.
experience it. There is a suffering that falls upon us and that we endure passively as victims. This often hardens us, closes us off, makes us bitter. And there is a different suffering, the suffering you choose to pass through
Tighten all your muscles
when
while
you
you do
decide to
this.
see the truth about yourself. For example, seeing that in a situation where you consider
Now,
yourself
we're
good,
gonna inhale.
you were actually seeking approval. Seeing that behind a spiritual idea was hidden a need to feel superior.
Bend your knees
Seeing that a certain
ever so
reaction been
slightly.
justified for years is actually a mechanical habit of defense. This vision hurts the ego, but it is precisely this pain that, if it remains in the light of consciousness, becomes transformation.
Move your head.
Without self-remembering,
Your whole body.
this suffering risks turning into self-denigration.
Except your legs.
With self-remembering,
Your bones.
with feeling yourself
Your
present
system.
while you look, it becomes a fire that purifies.
And now we're going to do the breath of
The
fire
starting
while we do this.
Self-observation
and quick
is the starting
exhales.
point, without which no real change can occur. It does not matter
Now we're
which
gonna move
spiritual
our
path you
chest.
have undertaken.
And keep doing breath
If
of
you do
fire.
not begin by making the effort to remain present for the purpose of observing yourself day after day, you are simply meditating, or doing reiki, or practicing any other technique, always within the hypnotic state. The practice of observing oneself is not attractive because it has nothing exotic or oriental about it. It has nothing to do with meditation as escapism, nor with channeling cosmic energies, nor with mystical visions. It is the simple, unglamorous work of staying awake to yourself while living your ordinary life. And yet, this simple practice
Shake it out.
is the only real gateway to conscious transformation. The Delphic wisdom. I would like to leave you for this episode with the famous maxims inscribed on the fronton of the oracle at Delphi. Γνώθησε αυτόν, μηδέν αγάν, εγεία παραβατά, which translate to, know thyself, nothing in excess, surety brings ruin. Socrates made these his own and transformed them into the foundation of his philosophical method, interpreting know thyself as an invitation to recognize your own cognitive limits
Know
before proceeding
thyself.
toward the search for virtue.
What's that saying?
Nowadays, an extended version of this wisdom circulates
Reach down. We're
widely
going to do this
online,
mudra.
one that is certainly a modern edition, yet, apart from whether it is
Squeeze your
original
muscles
or not,
down so you're
and in light of
interacting
what
with
we have
every muscle
understood
in your
so far
body.
about the absolute necessity of
And breathe
observing
deep.
and knowing ourselves, these
Visualize a
words
golden
serve
grounding
as a
cord coming
reminder
from your root
of the
down
importance of our
into
journey.
Mother Earth. Deeper
I
and
warn
deeper
you,
and deeper
whoever you
still.
are. Oh, you who desire to probe the secrets of nature, if you cannot find within yourself what you seek, you will not find it outside either. If you ignore the wonders of your own house, how do you expect to find other wonders? In you lies hidden the
As you
treasure of the
ground, let
gods.
your body naturally
Oh, human being,
move.
know yourself, and you will know the universe and the gods. Presence, exercise. To conclude this episode, I propose to you a very specific exercise to practice every day until the next lesson. We will call it Observe a Reaction Without Judgment. Here's how it works. First, during the day, choose a reaction that you recognize as typical of you. It could be, for example, irritation when someone contradicts you, sadness when you feel excluded, anxiety when you receive a certain type of message, embarrassment in a social situation.
Right now we're going to drop down.
Second,
Head.
in the moment you notice that reaction,
We're going to flip this upside down like this, or right side up. Flip it the other way.
You do not necessarily have to stop the external action, but create a small inner pause. Third, bring attention to your body. Notice where it contracts, how you breathe, which physical sensations appear: heat, cold, pressure, emptiness, tightness, etc. Fourth, then observe the thoughts that present themselves. This is not fair. There it is. Again, they're ignoring me. I will never make it. Or whatever your habitual inner dialogue is. Fifth, now comes the essential
Now breathe
part.
from your mouth.
Do not judge what you see. Do not tell yourself, I should not feel this. How disgusting this reaction is. I am back where I started. Simply acknowledge, here, in this moment, this is happening in me. Remember, you are not trying to change the reaction. You are simply learning to remain present while it unfolds. Your will is directed inward, toward presence, not outward, toward control. Sixth, if you can, in the evening, spend 2 minutes remembering that scene. Review it briefly.
Now go all the way
Noticing
down
what
to
you
the
felt in
ground.
your body,
And have
which
your arms
thoughts
pointed
appeared,
out this way.
how much you managed to stay present, even if only for an instant.
Go down.
Do not try to do the exercise perfectly. You do not need to
Use your
succeed.
knees to squeeze your arms in
The
together
real
at the
work
shoulders.
is to accept seeing a reaction as it is without covering it, without justifying it, and without attacking yourself. Every time you manage to take even just a step in this direction, you are already practicing healthy voluntary suffering and building the foundations for a new level of consciousness. You are beginning to step out of the hypnotic state, one moment at a time.
If you want to know the nature of reality, you have to know the nature of yourself. It's the only way. Why does everybody seek happiness? In each of our hearts, there is this wound, there is this longing, there is this memory of our eternity. If we didn't know the taste of happiness, we wouldn't know where to seek. Many people, if they've been failed often enough by the world, they begin to suspect that happiness can't be found in the conventional world. And then we start on a great spiritual search. We arrive at one experience, namely the awareness of being. If we really want to know the nature of awareness, we must, as it were, in some expressions of the traditional non-dual teaching, there is this initial turning away. I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. If that's as far as the teaching gets, then this leaves us with rejecting the world and rejecting the body. We need to then turn back again and realign it with this new understanding. We fully inhabit our life as an individual, but our life is then used in the service of this understanding.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Know Thyself podcast. Our guest today for many years has been inspiring countless people through his books, his talks, his retreats and courses. And he's been supporting really us recognize the true nature of ourselves as awareness itself. The teachings of non-duality have
everything
immense
is spirit.
implications
Spirit
in
is
daily life,
energy.
and
Just had an
it also feels
enlightened
like the main
moment there.
reason
So,
I started
very
this podcast,
powerful.
named it Know Thyself
And
to
that's
begin
what I
with.
just
And so
learned.
I hope
A
you enjoyed
wake-up
this
call,
conversation
people.
as
I'm
much
gonna
as
wake
I'm
you
about
up
to.
right here and right
So,
now.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. It really
Everything is
an honor.
energy.
I've
We are
loved your
energy.
talks and
Energy. We are
your shares
light.
and pointings
Light is
for many
energy.
years.
This is
And
all
so it's
scientifically
a cool
proven.
moment. The question,
Okay?
who am I?
In our DNA,
Let's just
everything. When
start
a
right
child
there,
is born,
because
light comes in,
we
and that's when it
grow up
activates. And when a
often in
person
education
dies,
system,
the light
learning
leaves
so
their
many things
eyes
about the
because we
external
are
world,
light. That's us.
not
This
really
body
given,
can't do it no more.
much
We're outski.
spaciousness
That's why we
to look
are
inwards
saying
and
that we
examine
are eternal
oneself.
beings. Understand?
You have
Now
said
you
that
understand.
the greatest
Now
service
you
one can
are
render humanity
awakening.
is the
You are
recognition of one's
awake.
true nature.
Because now you know the truth
That's so
of
profound. I'm
reality.
just curious what
So
led you
knowing
to that
this,
conviction.
when you lie to yourself, you are putting illness in your body. That's why you have pain, discomfort, all of these things, nervous twists, stiff body because you're being attacked in certain areas of your body with lies, which is dark energy, and it hurts. That's why we call it demons, just giving it a name. What are demons? They're someone who hurts themselves and others. That's why the Great Awakening is occurring, to wake you all up, to realize you are spirit, you are energy. So be very aware of what you're thinking. Put good vibrations of love. Silliness, goofy, like we're all these really like goofy, happy characters all the time, and there's none of those low vibrational, like, freaking emotions. They don't exist. Only emotions of love, bliss, understanding, caring, goofiness exist in the new earth. Yes! Let me get and every person, their higher selves, so many people are waking up and hearing them. When you're in a silent room, do you hear people talking? It's the higher self, and the angels are with you in the Spirit Awakening. It made it so everybody in the world can hear you. You hear the angels and hear God in them. And some of their higher selves are messing with them, making them think that they're this, that, the third, like aliens and stuff like that. No, that doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is that we're all angels. That's it. Because we're all spirit, we're all light. And black is lies. So you have to, when you wake up and you see the lights, you see what is truth. White is purity, divine the truth. And then you have your chakra colors. You'll see like a red or an orange, a yellow, a freaking green, a blue, a purple, a pink. Or you'll see double colors because they're using 2 chakras at once, 2 different energies. Or you see people with rainbow, like me, where you're using all the chakras at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the new earth is like. And all of a sudden, your body, pain, and everything just disappears. It's just no longer there. You feel like, oh yeah, feels so good. Like all of a sudden, just like that, I awoken, spoke thy truth to awaken all of you. And I can feel my energy, my Kundalini energy, my divine angelic energy. That's what a Kundalini is. And the whole time, it's purifying you. A lot of people don't understand that, but now I'm helping you understand what's really going on so you can wake up and start protecting yourself and start doing better for yourself and start healing and getting through this by moving and grooving and being like, that's a lie. I'm not going to let that stand in my body. And feel yourself get lighter and feel looser. And you're able to move and crack all your bones back in place so they just naturally go in place. You'll be like, you know what? I need to move this way or that way. And in the meantime, I'm going to help you move that energy and get those lies off you. But you got to do the writing. You got to be aware of what's happening, what you're seeing in other people, so you can let that all go back, come back to just that oneness within, with no lies. And you're just the light. That is how you get to the light, heaven on earth. It is here now, and it's been here, and now the new earth, and it's here available for all of you. But you got to make that leap. If you want to feel nobody pain for the rest of your life and feel amazing, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you, okay, guys? And taking care of the body, getting in the light, doing massages, listening to awakening videos such as this, Consciousness, on YouTube. I mean, there's so many great ones. Like Know Thyself is another great YouTube channel. Friggin' Art of Self is another great one. I mean, there's so many out there. Alright.
So it's
Let's get the hips moving.
To know the nature of the universe if we approach it through the finite mind. All we will ever know when we look at the universe through the finite mind is a reflection of the limitations of our finite mind. If you look at white snow through orange-tinted glasses, the snow is always going to appear in accordance with the limitations.
If you would like to know more about how to awaken on deeper levels, I'd be more than happy to go through it with you, you know. I want to open classes, so if you're interested in awakening further, I've been through all the steps, been through the Kundalini awakening for 7 years now, oh my goodness. And let me tell you, okay, it was no walking in the park. No. I mean, I went through literally hell because of my beliefs. Really shitty, I mean, really crappy beliefs that did not serve my highest good at all. In fact, they got me really hurt. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is why I've suffered with body pain my whole life. And I was like, hello, I'm awake, I hear you. Bring. Hello, yeah, receiving it loud and clear. All right, let's do something about that. Because I now want that, you know what I mean? No, I don't think
So if you go inwards, what happens if we travel, as it were, backwards?
Now switch to the other
Through
side.
the layers of experience, thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions, all of these are limited. So they can only give us a limited or relative view of reality. But if we go all the way back behind, as it were, the content of thought and perception, we arrive at one experience, namely the awareness of being, or aware being, awareness itself. And this experience we have, the experience of being aware, or aware being, is the only experience there is that is not mediated through the finite mind. And therefore it is the only access we have to reality. And that is why the words "know thyself" were carved above the temple of Apollo, that the early Greek philosophers realized, if you want to know the nature of reality, you have to know the nature of yourself. It's the only way to know the nature of reality. And this truth is expressed in many different ways in the Sufi tradition, as you know. Whosoever knows their self knows their Lord. That's religious language for whoever knows their self as they truly are, knows the ultimate reality of the universe. So that's why.
All right, now we're gonna bend down and we're gonna shake our hips, loosen up our whole spinal cord here by doing this.
Self-knowledge is the key to understanding, and the principle really which on civilization must be founded.
Shake side to side, and while you do that, shake your head left to right, side to side.
Consistent with truth, rather than evolve in a way that is consistent with the apparent evidence of sense perception of separation. Our world culture now is predicated on a paradigm of separation, because we have allowed our sense perceptions to dictate their model of reality. Everything and everyone is separate. That's the foundation on which our world culture is based. And of course, we all know this paradigm, it leads to sorrow on the inside and conflict on the outside. So this self-knowledge must be the foundation of a peaceful, harmonious, loving society.
Meister Eckhart, he briefly mentioned before recording, talking about one thing that he said was that theologians of the world may quarrel, but the mystics of the world all speak the same language.
Absolutely.
And there seems to be those that speak from direct experience seem to agree, and those that study through the mind intellectually often can disagree.
Yeah.
So what is it, I suppose, and it's a bit of a provocative
Now hold
question,
your elbows
through
and
immediacy
sway.
of their direct experience, they
Go left
get to know reality
right.
intimately as it is for all of us, versus the finiteness of the mind you spoke to earlier. We could disagree for millennia.
Yes, exactly. If we go through the finite mind, that is through thought and perception. Thought and perception fragment reality and make it appear as a multiplicity and diversity of objects and selves. And so, at the level of thoughts are always different. There are always going to be disagreements at the level of thought. Is there one experience that is absolutely true? Is there one experience that everybody agrees on? Is there a knowledge that is prior to the differentiation of the finite mind? That is this knowledge that Meister Eckhart said is the one knowledge that all mystics agree on. And yes, there is. And it's not an extraordinary, mysterious knowledge that only a few special enlightened people have. It's the knowledge that lives in everybody as their very own self. It is just the awareness of being. So let me try and illustrate that. Let's take a Christian and a Muslim,
Squeeze and work that word.
and a Jew, and ask them all about vision of their idea of God, or their vision of reality. They will have different ideas, and they'll express their understanding in different language, different terminology. But if we were to ask each of these 4 people, turn your attention away from the content of your experience and just go back as far as you can in your experience to your primary experience of yourself before any thought or perception arises. But what do you find there? And as long as they understood the question and participated in the experiment, they would all go back just to the experience of being. And let's add in a few other people as well. A saint, a criminal, an atheist. We do the experiment with a whole range of different people.
Drop your left shoulder down.
They'll all describe different thoughts and feelings, and there'll be conflict between them. But we ask them all, turn your attention away from the content of your experience. Just go into yourself. Keep on going back till you come back to your primary experience. Not some marvelous, extraordinary, enlightened. Just your essential experience of yourself. It's just the simple feeling of being, the experience of being, the awareness of being. And there can be no doubt, there can be no difference in people's experience of being. The experience of being is always the same. It's like, let me give you an analogy, it's like if we were to ask several people, describe your bedroom, or let's say you describe your kitchen, and everyone would describe the shape, the size, the colour, the contents, everyone's description would be totally different. And now we say to everyone, okay, but now describe the space in your kitchen, which is after all the larger part of your kitchen. Describe the space. Everyone's description would be identical. Whether the kitchen was vast and spacious and airy or tiny and dark and cozy, and the space is always the same. It's not qualified or conditioned by the 4 walls within which it seems to be contained, or the objects that it contains. It's always the same. Our being is like that. Just as there would never be any argument as to the nature of the space in all these different rooms, so that there can be no argument about the nature of being in all these different people. And that's the essential knowledge. All the great religions and spiritual traditions are founded on that knowledge. It's only when that knowledge has been overlooked and people start squabbling about ideas and the names you give to that being, that all the conflicts between all the great religious and spiritual traditions are founded on this simple recognition of the nature of being. And I would suggest that also, that knowledge also be the foundation of any peaceful, harmonious society. It must be the foundation, must be the paradigm on which any truly civilized society must be based.
And the deeper examination of our fundamental longing for happiness, which you pick a person randomly off the street and you ask them, do they want to be happy? Everyone's going to say yes, right?
Yeah.
And the I that wants to be happy, many of us have different perceptions on, but we tend to feel is this kind of locus of thoughts and emotions localized in our head. And we have this identity, personality structure in which we engage the world with. And it's through the perception of that separate self that happiness is perceived to be gained through the possessions and gain of exterior material possessions,
yes,
and an arrangement of relationships, something happening a certain way outside of us.
Yes.
And you're inviting the perspective to realize the source of who you are, which is happiness. And I often think of this metaphor of like a lighthouse illuminating a beach. In many ways it has been said that what we are looking for is the place we are looking from. And a lighthouse that's illuminating is almost like looking for its own light, failing to recognize that it is the source of its own illumination. And so as we start to peel back the layers of our preconceived notions of self to see who we are more fundamentally, that field of awareness that we can tap into, I would love for you to reflect on that and start to guide us with a direct experience of that, because I think non-duality can be seen as a philosophically dense topic of exploration, but it's also
Now
very
our left foot
simple,
forward.
and the immediacy of direct experience, one can come into contact with it. So, what say you?
Yes, okay. So, there's one physical space in the universe. There are not numerous
lift your
physical
arm
spaces.
forward.
There's just one vast, boundless physical space in the universe that seems to be contained within numerous buildings or within numerous rooms. And each of those rooms, like the room we're sitting in now, lends a
Put your arm
quality
down.
to the space. The space seems to, as soon as the building is put up, the building seems to limit, put a boundary around a certain portion of space. And the space then seems to share the qualities of the building. Large, small, dark, light, and so on. The space never actually becomes limited. The space in this room is not actually limited by the four walls of this room. If we were to take a sample of the space inside the room and investigate it, and we were to take a sample of the vast space outside the room, they would be identical. Now, imagine that the space were aware. And if we ask the space in this room, describe yourself, it would look around and it would say, I'm small, I'm dark, I'm cozy, I'm full of objects. And it's not describing
Now,
itself.
move your left leg,
It's describing
your right leg slightly up.
the walls within
So
which
it's
it
on
seems
the
to be
angle
contained. But if we
stretch.
said to it, no, don't tell us about the walls and the objects and the people. Look, tell us about yourself. We want to know about the nature of yourself. The space would, so to speak, look at itself, taste itself, become aware of itself. And if it were then to describe its quality, it would never say, I'm small, I'm dark, I'm limited. It would just say, I am vast, I am without limits, I am boundless. The space hasn't become boundless as a result of
Now
doing this.
move your leg
It was
back.
always. It just mistakenly identified itself with the four walls within which it seems to be contained. And just one clear look at itself liberated, not from its limitations, but it was never limited in the first place. It liberated it from the belief that it was limited. So instead of this face now feeling I'm confined, I'm limited, I'm a fragment, I need something, I'm incomplete, and so on. This face now feels I'm whole, I'm perfect, I'm complete, I need nothing. Okay, that's the analogy. So let's go back to our experience. Try to make contact with this in our experience. Leave the analogy of this vast boundless space. Go to the analogy of being. Consider one being, whole, without borders, unlimited, infinite, a single being like the single space. And now consider the single being
Namaste.
temporarily enclosed
Now turn to the right,
within the body,
to the left.
and
Little bit.
mixed with the content of our experience. By content of our experience, I mean thoughts and feelings, sensations on the inside, and perceptions of the world on the outside. So our sense of ourself
Now
is a
inhale,
mixture of the fundamental
tap.
being or being aware or awareness itself, plus the contents of experience. So I would suggest that our being
And exhale.
is like the space. It's fundamentally unlimited. And this is easy to check in on one's experience. We could perhaps go there later. It's easy to check in one's experience that one's being is without limits. It has no shape, no size, no gender, no color, no age, and so on. But in each of us, our being, our essential self is mixed with our experience, with our thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions. So we don't experience ourselves as this complete, inherently peaceful, whole being. We experience ourselves as a being that is limited, temporary, finite, and therefore lacking. Because we're a fragment, we feel incomplete. This mixture of infinite being plus the contents of experience makes for a finite being. Like the space in this room seems to be a finite space. So although infinite knowing is whole, it lacks nothing. So it's a common name for the absence of the sense of lack is happiness. It's complete, it seeks nothing, it needs nothing. It's in a state of equilibrium, sufficiency, it's energy. But when our sense of ourself, the fact of being, or awareness itself, is mixed with the content of experience, mixed with our thoughts and feelings, it seems to require limits. I no longer feel that I am this inherently free, inherently peaceful, unconditionally and fulfilled being or awareness. I feel that I am a temporary, finite self that is made partly of being or awareness and partly of the content of experience, the body and the mind. And so we feel we're fragile. Never fragile, we feel I'm missing something. So this sense of missing something and the tender longing to find something is the core feeling of the separate self that we seem to be. It's the one feeling that defines the apparently separate self. This feeling I'm incomplete, I lack something. And therefore, in response to that feeling of lack, all separate selves, all apparently temporary finite selves, are motivated by one thing.
All right.
To be complete.
This is the end of Collision Visions Yoga.
Because
Kundalini Yoga. I hope you're feeling a lot more loose and feeling a lot better and more awake inside and out. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste to you. Yeah.